Hi Shogi fans, it's Hidechi. Welcome back to another famous game series. This time I thought I'd do something one of the viewers requested before. I'll be presenting an Impasse game today. If you're not familiar with Impasse rule, I think it's better for you to refer to lesson number 16 of my How to Play Shogi series. But I'm gonna roughly go over that in this video anyway. This game was played between Akira SHIMA and Yasumitsu SATOU in the 24th Ki-O tournament in 1998. And the position we're seeing on the screen right here is where white SATOU has just played pawn promotion to 4G as a 174th move. And this position provides us with a good example of how an impasse can take place. So first of all, you can see white's king has already achieved king entering, in which the king has entered into the black's camp. Black's camp means this area, these three ranks. And when you have your opponent's king enter in your own camp with number of promoted pieces around it like this, you won't be able to mate this king in any way. The promoted piece castle is unbreakable, and shogi pieces are basically designed so that they attack forward, not attack backward on something like this kind of entering king. So in this situation, white's king is untouchable. It will never be mated. Okay, now on the other hand, let's say the black's king. The king hasn't achieved king entering, but you can see it will definitely do so shortly after. There's nothing that stops black's king from entering, and that area is already occupied by black's promoted pieces. So black's king is going to be another unmateable king, just as white's king. So now let me explain how we can end a game under impasse rule. First, both kings have to be in each other's camp before going into an impasse. So that's the first condition. And second of all, both players have to agree that both kings are absolutely unmateable in any way. Then we can go into an impasse. But we can't end the game by only making that agreement. We have another important thing to do, which is we count the number of the pieces that each player has. And we count them with points rule. And if one of the players has less than 24 points, he loses the game. And if both players have 24 points or more, it's a draw. So practically, by the time one of the players offer an impasse agreement, he does so already knowing the result of the game by counting the number on his own. And if one of the players knows that he has no way of getting 24 points or more, he should just resign before talking about impasse. So I know it sounds a little confusing, so let me demonstrate it with this situation we see on the screen. So we all know, including the players, we all know both kings are gonna enter and they will be unmateable. So they're thinking about impasse. But before they talk about impasse, they surely count their points on their own while playing in order to know if he has a chance of winning or not. So let's count the numbers. Let's count black's points. Okay, so here's how we count them. First of all, we don't count the king. And I'm going to circle all other black's pieces, including the pieces in his hand. And we're going to count them all as points. And I'm going to color these major pieces with a different color, because major pieces are 5 points each. And all the other pieces are all 1 point each. So if we sum them all, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 3 times 5 is 15, equals 30. So black has 30 points in total. Now how about white's number? Well, we don't have to count them, because we know that if we count all the pieces in the game, it's 54 points in total. So for white, 54 minus 30 equals 24, right? So white's point is just 24 points. So if we go into an impasse ending now, it will be a draw. However, black's not gonna agree with that, so the game doesn't end yet. Well, because he still has chances of getting more pieces from white. I mean, these pieces, making white's points less than 24, and bring it into a situation where white can no way regain 24 points, and thus he can force white to resign. And usually, if one of the players has 3 major pieces or more, he has a good chance of winning, and that's what is happening here. So here, Shima will definitely keep playing, and SATOU has to stick to it, hoping that he could secure 24 points or more, thus bringing this losing game to a draw. Okay, so here's Shima's next move. He played horse to 3a. Right now, do you notice something? Well, this is a terrible blunder. Why? Because SATOU then played silver drop to 4b, and this horse is captured. This horse has nowhere to run to, and it's a really important piece for both players because it's 5 points. So at this position, Shima agreed on an impasse, and the game ended as a draw. Very lucky for SATOU. If they were to keep on playing, it would proceed like, for instance, horse takes the goal here, and silver takes it, and dragon takes the silver in 4b, and well, maybe silver to 3c upward. So if you do the math, white has gained 3 points, getting a horse for 2 other pieces. So now the points are 27 to 27. SATOU has tied the score. And as you can see, white now has 2 major pieces here, the dragon and the bishop here. So they're now even in terms of that. And this bishop on the hand is now secure. He won't drop it for good, right? So he won't lose it. And well, these pieces are almost secure too. So all SATOU has to do is make sure he doesn't lose these pieces. And well, even he loses these 3, he will still has 24, right? So that's why Shima had to admit that it's a draw. Oh, and I think I was wrong about the rules of impasse. Both kings entering seems not to be a required condition for agreement on impasse. Sorry about that. Okay, so a very interesting game. However, it's not the end of the story. You might have noticed that I didn't show all the moves for this game, right? And there are 2 reasons for that. For one, I couldn't find the whole Kifu file for this game to begin with. But reason 2, which is more important, is in professional shogi, after a game has ended as a draw with impasse or repetition, they play a rematch. And in most cases, they start playing it just after the first game, with taking over their respective remaining thinking time. And we always switch black and white, by the way. And actually, the very game that I want to show you in this video is that second game. Because very surprisingly, that game 2 ended as an impasse again. 2 impasses in a row. Very rare. But this time, it doesn't go into the third game. It wasn't a draw. One of the players won the game by points rule, and the end of the game takes place in a very, very interesting way. So now let's see it. Okay, so now they switch black and white. I mean, they don't switch where they sit, but let's always make the screen as it's from black's viewpoint. Right, so now the opening was Yagura opening. And actually, the first game was also a Yagura game, so they're doing that again. And Yagura game is more likely to go into an impasse than any other openings. Well, the reason is, in Yagura game, both sides attack their opponent's king on the front, right? And the situations sometimes take place where the attacking pieces are exhausted by counterattacks from the king's side, and a wide room remains there for the king to go through. So that's what happened in this game too. Now basically they're in the Joseki line. Knight to 1g here, preparing to attack the silver. So silver runs to 2d in advance. Knight leaps over to 2e. Knight 7c and lands to 1g, getting out of the bishop's diagonal. Silver to 4b, a defensive move. Silver goes up to 4f, and knight 3c, offering the knight trade. Okay, black goes for the 5th file, and then pawn to 6e. An interesting pawn sack. If white takes with the knight, attacking silver, silver runs to 6f, attacking the knight, and white will have to move the gold to here, protecting that knight. But you see, if he moves the gold diagonally forward, his castle gets very weak, so he doesn't want to do that. So he didn't take this pawn. So bishop to 5c, and then pawn to 3e. Very strong attack. Okay, knight trade here, and then silver takes the 3rd file pawn here. So silver trade, and then after black succeeds in silver exchange on the 3rd file, usually black then goes for the edge. So here he does that too. Pawn to 1d. Pawn takes it, and from here you can see really cool sacrifices, starting from lance to 1d, sacking the lance. White took it, and then he dropped that pawn he just got to 5d. Very interesting. Once again, the gold doesn't want to take it by moving diagonally forward. I mean, black has a knight here, so if he takes it, maybe knight fork here, or this attack will be strong too. So white can't take it. So bishop to 7a. Okay, now the next move is cool. Why don't you pause the video here and find the next move? Okay, the move SATOU play here was silver to 1c. Very cool sacrifice. And SHIMA moved the king back to 3a. He didn't take it. But let's see what's gonna happen if he takes it. So king to 1c. Well then, the bishop gonna make a powerful check from 3e. And let's say he blocks it with a piece here. Well then he goes ahead, taking on with the bishop. If the pawn takes it, look at this gold is floating over there. So black has won the game. So white can block it. But if he runs to 2b, well then bishop to 1c promote. And if he takes it, rook to 3b. So black has won too. And if king to 1b, well, we can still go bishop to 1c. But more interestingly, bishop can also go to 4d, making this double attack, right? Well, white has a good way to deal with it. It's this, silver to 5c. Blocking the bishop's diagonal and simultaneously opening the rook's defense on the gold. Really cool. But well, I don't know. Black is still better. Maybe pawn drop now. And if the king takes it, bishop can run by checking at the same time. And then he can take this silver later. So anyway, if white takes that silver sacrifice, he's gonna lose the game. So that's why SHIMA played king 3. Okay, now pawn 2d, silver to 3c, pawn promotion here, and gold is attacking the silver, so knight to 2e, protecting that silver. Okay, lance to 3d, reinforcing that pawn. So knight takes the silver, gold takes from the right, pawn 3f, trying to open the bishop diagonal, knight 4c, adding another defender. Black goes ahead, knight takes another pawn drop, but knight promotes the 2g attack in the rook, so rook runs, and another silver drop to 4h. Okay, but here black gives away that rook and pushes the pawn up to 3e, attacking the lance. So white takes the rook, black takes a lance, gold takes from the left, but lance to 3f. Okay, pawn drop 3e, Now black gets a pawn in his hand, but gold takes it and bishop takes the gold. Alright, now rook drop to 3h. A powerful rook drop. Now black can only keep attacking. He dropped the silver to 2b, forking the king and the gold. White just took it with the rook. So silver takes it and king takes it. And then black saves the bishop back to 6h, also blocking the rook's way. Alright, now pawn to 3e, blocking the bishop. Okay, now if you see this position, you will notice that now there's a possibility that white's king will be able to enter black's camp, right? Black has been attacking white so fiercely, but the outcome is, just as I've said, black's attacking pieces are now exhausted, and there's a secure way for the king to go through, right? Black dropped the rook to 7b, forking the king and the bishop, but white drops the silver there, so he's fine. Okay, but there's this pawn promotion. Very good attack. White is kind of in trouble if we only see this part. But the issue here is the king entering. So white just plays king to 2c, going for king entering. Oh, by the way, you might want to drop your silver to here, right? Now the rook is dead. But this kind of drop is usually not very good. Now for instance, if the rook takes this silver, white gets a rook, yes, but you see, the silver remains there, so it's not a very good way to drop a silver. So that was not really important. So king to 2c, again a promoted pawn takes the silver, but bishop to 9c, okay, rook takes the knight, king 3d, dragon 6c, threatening a knight drop in the next move, for instance. So he drops the knight to 4c, and then dragon takes the bishop on 9c, lance takes it, and black drops it to 5a. Okay, what he's trying to do in the next move is he's gonna rip off that gold in the next move, and then drop a piece to here. So white's in trouble. So after this bishop drop, white dropped a silver to 2d, bishop promotes, silver to 4h promote. Now obviously white's king will be able to enter black's camp, so the only way for black not to lose this game is to achieve king entering too. So he's gonna start trying to doing that by bishop to 5g, trying to wipe out these pieces that are blocking the king's path. Okay, rook to 2i, bishop 9c promote, and rook to 3i upward promote. It's a threat mate, so lance drop to 7i. Then promoted knight to 3g, steady move. Pawn 5d, dangling pawn, trying to occupy white's camp. King goes ahead to 2e, pawn promotes, and king to f. Promoted pawn takes the knight. Okay, gold runs. Horse to 3b, gold runs again. Okay, promoted pawn to 3c, king goes ahead to 2g. And promoted pawn to 2c. Lance promotes to 1g. Promoted pawn takes the gold, and silver to 2e. Now after black succeeded in taking that gold, he makes the escaping road for the king, pawn to 9f. If white takes it, it will just help black, letting the king escape through the edge file. So instead, white leaves it that way and makes a more valuable move. So silver to 3f. But white's gonna lose 1 point by doing that. He loses that pawn on 9e, but he takes the pawn on 4g by the silver and promote. Okay, then the king starts moving, king to 9g. Okay, now it seems black king will be able to enter white's camp too. So here, let's count the points, because they must have already done that by the time of this position. And let's count white's pieces, because it seems easier. So 1 point pieces are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 5 pawns, so 15. And he has 2 rooks, which is 10 points. So he has 25 points in total. Yeah, 25. So black's point is 54 minus 25 is 29. So it's 29 versus 25. So both players have more than 24 points. So there's a possibility of another draw game here. But it's not going to end as a draw right now because White has only 25, which is only 1 point larger than 24. So we're not sure he can secure that 25 points. And actually, White will lose these pawns, which are going to be captured by the king on its way. So Shima might not be able to keep 24 points or more. And in that way, he can lose the game. So even if White offers a draw here, Black won't accept it. Black wants to keep on going. So here White has to keep playing, and what he has to do here is he has to try to save these pawns at least. So he's going to do that by pawn to 3f. Well, taking this lance by the dragon is a powerful attack, but he can't lose his 5-point dragon. He can't capture Black's king anyway. So king to 9f, yeah. Okay, pawn 5f. Well, Black can take it, but this dragon's attack will be powerful. So Black doesn't take it, and instead he keeps moving the king. And he takes a pawn, so now White's point is 24. Okay, lance up to 8a. King takes another pawn, so now White's count is 23 points. So now he doesn't have the right to offer draw here, but he keeps playing, hoping that he can regain some points from here. Okay, lance sack to 8g. Piece trade here, and he takes the lance, so it's 24 points again. Okay, but gold to 5f, taking a pawn now. Okay, so 23 points again, but dragon takes the knight, regaining 24 points and attacking the gold. And here Black played gold to 8h, attacking the dragon. And well, the dragon can take this lance, taking another point, but he didn't do that. I'm not sure why, but I guess he didn't like this gold drop in the next move. The dragon is likely to be captured after all. But actually, even if Black drops a gold here, this knight sack will work, right? So at least White can trade the dragon with a horse, but maybe he didn't want White to secure this bishop. Oh, or maybe he didn't like this pawn drop. I don't know. But anyway, he didn't take the lance. He played dragon 5i, attacking the gold. Okay, horse to 6f, pawn 6h, trying to make another promoted pawn. Pawn 9d, pawn promotes, and pawn promotes 2, and promoted pawn back to 6h. Promoted pawn to hc, knight 4e, trying to attack on 5g square. Okay, lance promotes, and knight promotes. Okay, gold takes it. I mean, it's gonna be an impasse, so a promoted knight and a gold is no difference. They're just 1 point, right? So Black can simply trade them like that. So far it's still 24 points, but the thing is, it's hard for White to keep that number. Okay, horse takes the pawn on 4d. Okay, so 23 now. But promoted pawn to 6g, attacking the silver. Silver runs. Promoted silver to 5f. Pawn 6d. Promoted pawn to 6f. Attacking the pawn. Pawn runs to 7e. We promote silver to 3h. Preparing for the rook to come over here. Gold to 9g. Rook promotes to 4i. Bishop to 3e. King 1h. Pawn promotes to 6c. Pawn 7f. Trying to make another promoted pawn. King to 7c. Pawn promotes. Pawn 7d. Saving that pawn. Dragon to 4h from the right. King 7b. Promoted pawn to 7f, attacking the silver. But once again, the silver doesn't have to run because they're both 1 points now. There's no difference in the values of pawn and silver. Okay, pawn promotes 7c. So instead of just taking the silver, White played dragon to 8i, adding another piece to attack on 8f square. in this way he threatens to gain 1 point in total here, making a point 24 again. But here horse to 5c, protecting that square. So here white played dragon to 8i, adding another dragon to attack on this 8f square, which is the issue. But well, this move was a blunder. The next move that SATOU played is a really cool move. So why don't you pause the video here and try to find it. Okay, here's the answer. The next move, which is 189th move, is very interesting. And actually, that will be the final move in this game. SHIMA will redesign with this move. And that is gold drop to 9i, a beautiful sacrifice. After seeing this move, SHIMA resigned. Well, the reason is, basically this gold is forking these two dragons, which are both 5 points. So, White's gonna have to take the gold anyway. Okay, so let's start by seeing what happens if he takes it with the dragon sideways. Well, then another gold drop to 9h, forking the dragons again. And well, as you can see now, White's gonna lose his rook here on the black's piece stand, and it's now secured. And if you do the math, White has lost 2 points in those piece exchange. So now his point is 21, and now there's no way he can get 24 points. Alright, and alternatively, we can take the gold with dragon to 9i upward. Well, but then another gold drop to 9h again, and you see this dragon has nowhere to run to, so it's gonna be the same thing here. White loses the rook. So gold sack to 9i. It's a really interesting move. So SATOU won the game after making 365 moves in total. I think it's one of the most interesting impasse games. Alright, so well, this impasse rule, many Japanese shogi amateur players don't like this rule because counting the numbers, it sounds a little bit absurd. It's not the way how shogi should be. Not about going for the king and just trying to get more and more pieces. It's pretty irrational. And as a matter of fact, I don't like this rule either. But because of this strange rule, sometimes this kind of very interesting move could take place. So it's an interesting rule in a way, at least. So hopefully you got some idea as to what an impasse game is like. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna be back with another shogi video real soon. So take care and see you next time. Bye.